YouTube, it's your boy, Sean Mitra, here with Shiranui Guide. This is a full guide on how to play Shiranui. If you've never played Shira, or, maybe you go on the ladder and you try to do a combo and sometimes you just do maybe one line, Maybe you know one line, or maybe you just get confused altogether and you just end up on some weird board and you say to yourself, man, I see all these people doing it on YouTube, Twitch, or whatever, and I don't know how to do the combo, and I don't know what to do. Well, luckily, I'm here for you. We're going to go over quickly what the effects do. I do have a video on it. Also, I'm going to refer to my boy Steven. This is his list, and he also got top 100 in the KC Cup with it. Got his silver icon with Shira, so I highly recommend you go watch him as well and go ask him any questions. But I am definitely here to help you. I've done really well. Shira and TG did get me to top 200 global in a KC Cup, so I am very, very knowledgeable on the deck as well. So yeah. Anyway, let's go over the deck. All right. So first of all, what you need to know is that let's go over the skill first, because otherwise it's gonna make more sense if I go over this first. So Shiranui style Successor. At the beginning of the duel, if your deck contains at least zombie monsters and 4 different types of Shiranuis, add at least 10 zombie monsters, add 4 different kinds of Shira monsters to your extra deck, and send 1 Spectral Sword from outside the deck to the graveyard, which you can use that turn. And also, you're locked into summoning any monsters with a level out except for fire zombies, and also you can use one of the following effects, each of the following effects, not one. Each of the following effects once per duel. Send 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand to the graveyard. Any level 4. Add 1 Shiranui monster from deck to hand. Return all your synchro monsters, minimum 2, to the extra deck, and all link monsters that could include your unicorn, whatever, phoenix, that are in the graveyard banished. And then banish 2 fire zombie type monsters with different levels from your extra deck. Those can be special summoned. So, basically, this makes any level 4 monster a starter. Gozuki, Mizuki, Solitaire, Squire, Samurai, Spirit Master, Smith. Although your most even Skullmeister can be a starter depending on what you have. But the most ideal starters are probably going to be you opening up Gozuki, Solitaire. Gozuki generally along something with it. You don't want to generally open it as a standalone. But Gozuki, Solitaire, Mizuki, those are kind of the cards you want to open up the most. And even Smith. Okay? So those are the cards you generally want to see the most. Now, on top of that, each of your monsters have different effects. Each of your Shiranuis have an effect on field and when they are banished, outside of like your tuners. So Solitaire on field tributes itself or another monster you have. I should say any zombie monster you have. Summons out zombie tuner with 0 defense from the deck. So you can tribute itself or a zombie tuner summon out a zombie tuner with 0 defense from the deck. Squire gets to summon a Shiranui tuner from your deck. A Shiranui Spectral Sword. Well, that's what a Shiranui tuner is. From your deck, but locks you into zombies. Samurai can banish 1 zombie from your graveyard to banish an opponent's monster during damage calculation. Spirit Master gets to revive 1 Shiranui from the graveyard. These are their on-field effects. And then Smith doesn't have an on-field effect, but has an effect when sent with synchro material. When sent to synchro material, can search any Shiranui spell trap and add it to your deck to your hand. Now, in the graveyard, when banished, not from the graveyard, but when banished in general, Solitaire can special summon a Shiranui from the banished pile, not even a tuner. Squire draws 1 discards. Samurai adds a Shiranui from graveyard to hand. Spirit Master can destroy 1 face-up card in the field. And Smith can add a Shiranui. Smith can protect all your zombie monsters from being destroyed by battle that turn. Okay. Now, on top of that, we are running Valor. Valor is a really good tech in the deck. Before I get to the techs, Gozuki has 2 different effects. On summon, well, not on summon. On field, can send 1 zombie monster from deck to graveyard. So you can send any of Shiranuis to the graveyard. Also, when sent to graveyard, can banish a zombie from graveyard to special summon a zombie out of hand. Now, keep in mind, you can only special summon fire monsters with levels, so you can't special summon Gozuki or Mizuki with skill. Mizuki, while in graveyard, can banish any itself to special summon a zombie from grave. So this is great to revive back your Shiranuis. Now, on top of that, we are running different tech cards. So we're running Veiler, Skullmeister. These are 2 great cards, great against Sacred Beast. Also, Veiler and Skullmeister are great against the Fleur and against the Mirror Match and some other decks if it comes up. Skullmeister is also really good against Rocket. And it's also potentially a starter, or help start, by discarding it to search a Shiranui card. Now, on top of that, we're also running 2 Gold Sark, banish Shiranui out of the deck. Generally, your Spirit Master to pop a card, Solitaire to extend, Squire for a draw discard. Ghost meets Girl Shiranui story. This card's very good. You discard a zombie monster. Special summon a Shiranui out of the deck, so this generally can extend you into Samurai. Sometimes Solitaire, so if they book like your Shade, then what you can do is that you go Squire, summon Shade, then they activate book, then you can go Ghost meets Girl, summon Solitaire, tribute the Shade, that's book, and then summon out another Shade. You can tribute face down monsters, and you are able to threaten Squire Saga and do more even after that. Maybe even a Sun Saga play. 3, Samsara. This card is the most broken card in the deck, basically an Infinite Kiteroid. Also, both effects are each once off. Each hard once per turn, but you can use both effects in the same turn. Banish a zombie monster. You take no damage for the rest of the turn, including effect damage. Also, you can target 2 zombie-type monsters that are banished, shuffle them in the deck, and draw a card. So each of the effects are hard once per turn, but you can use both effects in the same turn. Very, very broken. Okay, so now that you know what everything in the deck does, mostly, I just didn't go over the tuners. So Spectral Sword, which you don't see in the deck, can banish itself and a zombie monster. Special summoning a zombie-type monster whose level, from your extra deck, whose levels equal those. Keep in mind it's special summon, not a synchro summon. And it special summons with a card effect, so you can't roach it. However, you can not revive that monster from the graveyard because it wasn't properly synchro summoned. Shade has the effect that it contributes itself. Special summon 2 of your banished Shiranui monsters with their effects negated, so be very careful. If you bring back Sun Saga, you will not be able to use the effect, or any of Shiranui's monsters that you bring back from the banish pile. Outside of Samurai banishing for a cost, because to banish a zombie, it is a cost, so you can bring back 1 combos. If you start out with Samurai, you can special summon back that Samurai from the banished pile, and then when Samurai's on the field, banish the Squire out of the graveyard to draw and discard a card, because that banishes for cost. But Shade is very good, but keep in mind it does lock you into zombie monsters, but it is a great extender for the deck. Okay, now onto the extra deck. We're going to start by talking about the extra deck skilled monsters first that it gives you. So Shiranui Sun Saga is your main boss monster. It's a level 10. You're going to either special summon it out by Spectral Sword, or you're going to summon it out by its normal way, just making it. Basically, it takes a zombie type tuner plus any number of non-zombie tuners. That goes for all your Shiranui, so that's irrelevant. On Synchro Summon, you can target on Synchro Summon, you can return any amount of zombie-type Synchro monsters from your Banish Zone or Graveyard to your extra deck, then pop that many cards on the field. Now, the one thing you need to be careful of is that you have to return the exact amount of Synchros that you want to pop cards. If you return more Synchros than you can pop cards, you won't be able to pop because it has to be the exact number. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, also, you can banish 1 Shiranui monster. If a zombie-type monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish a Shiranui monster in your graveyard to protect that card. So very, very good. And that is not a hard once per turn. And that is a continuous effect. They cannot negate the activation of it. That does not activate. It's continuous. Shiranui Shogun Saga. Also, if you crack down in the mirror, now crackdown's limited to 3, just to let you know. You can protect, alright, because that doesn't activate. So keep that in mind. Even though crackdown's not legal, really, to play in Shira, but if somebody randomly does it, just keep in mind they can do that. Okay, Shiranui Shogun Saga. Again, the requirements are the same. I'm not going to go over it 100 times. On special summon. Now, keep in mind, all your Shiranuis are on special summon. So if you bring them back with like a Solitaire, they will get near effects. If you Book of Life revive them, they will get near effects. So keep this in mind. If on special summon, you can target 1 zombie monster in your graveyard. Well, not target. You can banish 1 zombie monster in your graveyard. It gains attack equal to the attack of that zombie monster. Also, when this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect or by battle, target 1 zombie monster with 0 defense, and you return it to your graveyard. And keep in mind, you can only special summon each of your Shiranui Synchros once per turn. So Shogun Saga is really, really good because it can go for lethal over any 2k body by banishing Samurai Saga. You reduce their attack by 500, and then 5500 Shogun Saga over a 1500 monster will kill anything. And 2,000 or less anyway. So keep in mind, though, that's lethal no matter what. Shiranui Samurai Saga is 2,500. Basically, it's a 2,500 beat stick. The other effects don't come up much, but it's good to know. Once per turn during either player's turn, quick effect, you can target one of your banished zombie monsters, shuffle it in the deck, and then change all defense position monster your opponent controls. To defense position all monsters your opponent controls when an attack less than or equal to that monster. So, for instance, if you return a Sun Saga, then everything with 3,500 or less attack will be changed to defense position your opponent's field. Shogun 3,000, Sword Saga is 19. You get the idea. Also, when this card is banished, you get the target one monster your opponent controls loses 500 attack. That is permanent. Okay. Shiranui Sword Saga. So basically, you're never using this effect, rarely ever on the field, but good to know. On special summon, you can target one face-up monster in the field, change its battle position. And this effect does come up, the second effect. If this card is banished, you get to summon a Shiranui token. This is really good for making Myelin combos, and I'll show you. Really good combo with Squire and Solitaire. And then we already discussed Spectral Sword. Now we're going to go over the other extra deck monsters that we put in. Shiranui Squire Saga is a level 7. And keep in mind that Squire Saga and Sun Saga do not target. So, for all of you people out there who do not know what the heck I'm saying, non-targeting basically means that if your opponent does not respond with any of their cards on activation, once your effect is given the okay to resolve, they will not be able to respond after, so they have no idea what you're destroying. So, you can all, like I said, with all Shiranui synchros, you can only special summon them once per turn. Once per turn, you can banish one face-up monster you control or in your graveyard to trigger the following effects. Now, what's also very important about Squire Saga is its sequence. So, the first bullet point all the way down to the last bullet point goes in order. So, for example, you might say, well, when is that relevant? Well, if you go up against something like Sacred Beast, and you were to pop, say, their Fallen Paradise, you would be able to destroy their monster after, because the pop of the spell and trap comes before you popping their monster. Okay, so, in this order, first, if you banish a zombie-type monster, all monsters you control will gain 300 attack. Not only zombies, could be a Nightmare Unicorn as well. Fire, you could destroy one spell or trap on the field. Now again, if you meet all these requirements on one monster, you can trigger all the different effects. Which, a ton of the time, that's going to happen. Okay? So, again, zombie-type monster, all monsters you control gain 300 attack. Fire, you can destroy a spell or trap on the field. And Synchro, you can destroy one monster on the field. The second and third effect do not target. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you go ahead and banish, let's say, a Sun Saga out of the graveyard or any of your Fire Synchros, then what's going to happen is you're going to trigger those effects in sequence. That's a great way to deal with Fallen Paradise. Or even if you just banish the Spirit Master. You banish the Spirit Master out of the graveyard, you pop the Fallen Paradise. Well, that doesn't really matter anyway because Spirit Master triggers in a separate chain. But more important, if you banish like a Zombie Synchro, you pop the Fallen Paradise, then you can banish the Zombie Synchro out of the grave since you banished the Synchro. The last effect that will occur is the popping on the field. Hence, their monster will be destroyed. So really, really good stuff there. Okay, next. Doom Kaiser Dragon. So this you can special summon. Now, I know it says it needs Plague Spreader Zombie. Ignore it. You do not. You're going to cheat it out. So, Spectral Sword can special summon any zombie type synchro, which means it bypasses the requirements needed to synchro summon it normally. On special summon, you can target a zombie type monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it in its act mode, but destroy it when it leaves the field. Basically, it's a free extender, and it's a good 2,400 body to have. It's a free extender in the mirror match, but could also be good against Boulder Rock if they leave any monster in the graveyard. You could just extend and get free link material out of it, so really, really good. Or in the mirror, free synchro material. Nightmare Unicorn, everyone knows what Unicorn and Phoenix do by now, so I don't think it really plays to go over those two. Shiranui Skill Saga Supremacy is a link 3, and it has a few different effects. Synchro monsters you cannot control cannot be destroyed by card effects, and fire monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So basically you have a synchro and a fire synchro on the field. It's not being destroyed by battle or card effect. Also, Skill Saga will not be able to be destroyed by battle because it is a fire monster. Also, if you have Sun Saga on the field, it won't be able to be destroyed by battle or card effects. So really good. During your opponent's turn, you can target one of your banished zombie synchro monsters, special summon it to his arm that this points to, and you can only use Skill Saga once per turn. So, during your opponent's turn, you can special summon the Sun Saga that you banished with your skill to this zone, and then trigger Sun Saga's effect to pop 1, 2, sometimes even 3 cards on the field. Really, really good stuff. Now, Yuki-Onna the Icicle Mayakashi is a Mayakashi monster, but you could summon it in this deck because you're locked. You could summon zombie-type monsters added that are not levels. So you can summon any monster out of the extra deck that's not a level. So Yukiona allows us to essentially negate a monster effect on their field, but in the graveyard you get to banish her to special summon a zombie type monster in your banish zone or in your graveyard. Zombie synchro. So this is great to revive Sun Saga and not get negated by something like Droplet or Chalice on the field by a skill Saga. What's also really good about this is you can do this in the battle phase and not get disrupted by anything that's on the field or get run over or anything like that. But another really good thing in just dodging any disruption that your opponent would have toward like a skill Saga. So for example, if you go up against Blue Eyes and they want to use their Successor Soul, well, now you're not warranted to using that immediately. Okay? Because this will be in the graveyard, you can wait. If you go up against Rocket and they have something like a Chaos Dragon Levianeer, you are not forced to use skill Saga instantly. You can wait until they threaten you with something on the field, making the MyLink very, very good. Also, what's really good about this as well is that you have the negate on your opponent's monster, so it's good to force out a disruption if you're going second sometimes. But yeah, the MyLink is very, very good and very, very crucial to the Shiranui strategy. So definitely want to play it. This card is really important to make against Blue Eyes. It's also really good to make against Rocket, I feel. The only thing you want to be careful of is decks that run Skullmeister, because Skullmeister can punish this. So just be very careful with that. And it's also really good with Samsara, because if you special summon your Sun Saga from the Banish Zone, and you activate the effect, and they go to Droplet you, now you can change your Samsara and banish that Sun Saga, and now because it's not on the field anymore, you can activate the effect to pop anyway. Whereas versa, if you had Skill Saga on the field, and you go to banish Skill Saga, now you can't summon the Shiranui monsters its opponent points to, because it no longer has an arrow pointing to it on resolution. Vampire Sucker allows you to draw a card each time a zombie monster is special summoned from the graveyard. Also, you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard. This used to be really key in the mirror, special summon, so you can special summon a Spectral Sword, and then deny them their Spectral Sword. All really good for the Shiranui combo, just to go into the Maya combo, because you would end on the second sucker, you'll see what I mean. And if you tribute summon a zombie, you can tribute zombie type monsters for controls. That will never come up, so just keep that in mind. Okay, anyway, you've heard enough of me blabbing about that long enough. So now we are going to go onto our combo tutorial. Now, I'm going to discuss with you different combos in this deck, and I got a few replays for you on the back end. Tonight, we are doing Shiranui to Cog. So if you have any questions, ask me. And my boy Steven is likely going to be in the stream too. So if you have any questions, he will more than help you too. He is a god on Shira. Okay? Not going to lie. One of the best players I've ever seen to touch the deck. In my mind, the best player to see touch the deck. So, if you have any questions, perfect one to ask. Alright. Anyway. My turn is done. I draw. Gonna make me do this. Okay. Alright. So, first things first. We're gonna go over the combos in the order that this game gives me. I'd like to start out with the Squire. I'm going to go over some good lines for you guys. I might make a smaller list just so that way you get a combo consistent. Okay. Alright, so this is your Solitaire one-card combo. So keep this in mind. I'm going to timestamp this for you guys. This is a Solitaire one-card combo. And what this is going to end on is a 2-card Sun Saga pop with the MyLink in the graveyard. So what you're going to do, this is a great setup against Blue Eyes. You're going to skill, dump your Solitaire, do not pay attention to any other card that's in the hand, and we're going to add Squire to our hand. Then, we're going to go ahead, we're going to normal summon our Shiranui Squire. Squire is going to activate its effects, summoning out Spectral Sword from the deck. Then we're going to activate our Spectral Sword in Graveyard. Summoning out Doom Kaiser Dragon, very important. And then we're going to activate our Solitaire since it was banished. Remember, we get to special summon a banished zombie, a banished Shiranui monster. So we're going to go ahead and special summon our banished Spectral Sword. Now, we're going to use our level 2 Spectral Sword and our level 6 Doom Kaiser to summon Shogun Saga. When Shogun Saga is summoned, we get to banish the zombie from the graveyard, have it gain its attack. That's going to be Spectral Sword. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to link off our Squire and our Shogun Saga into our Sucker.
Here's what's coming.
Then, we're going to activate our skill, returning 2 zombie-type synchros from the graveyard back to the extra to banish any 2 we choose. And we're going to banish Sun Saga and our Sword Saga. Very important, Sword Saga gets banished. Then, we're going to activate Shade's effect, summoning back Spectral Sword and Sword Saga.
Here's what's coming.
Then, we're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon into our level 7 Squire Saga.
Here I go.
We're going to activate Squire Saga's effect, banishing Sword Saga from the graveyard. Make sure you say no, do not destroy a monster in your field. We're going to summon the Shiranui token. And very important, well, actually, it doesn't really matter because we've already skilled already. So, we're going to go ahead and make the Maya Link. And then we are going to end on Vampire Sucker. So, what did this do? Well, we have Sword Saga banished, Sun Saga banished, and Squire Saga. So since we have 2 other synchros other than Sun Saga banished, on our opponent's turn, we can activate the Maya Link in the graveyard, special summoning back our Sun Saga, then activating Sun Saga's effect to return 2 Shiranuis back to the extra deck to pop 2 cards on the field non-targeting. Also, if we wanted to, when we have something on the follow-up that could summon something from the graveyard at any point, or they would have summoned something from the grave, we could draw a card if they special zombie from the grave. Or we do. Which won't happen in this case. There are combos that get us there, but that's not going to happen in this case. So that is your 1-card combo with Solitaire. So if you see Solitaire, that's what you want to be doing. Now, I'm going to cut down the list a bit, just so that way we see every combo that we want uber consistently. I'm just going to make a quick 20-card list, so that way it's easy for me to show you guys the combos. Just give me like 1 moment here. Oh, I'm not even going to include Ghost Meets Girl in this list. Just the basic heavy combo wombo list, just to show you what to do. Okay, is there anything I'm missing in the main? No. Okay. I'm gonna add in some other cards then. I'll put Gold Circuit. That could be really good as well to show you guys off a few things. This is not the list, this is just, you know, an example. Just for combo purposes. Unicorn, Myling. Okay. I need one more card in this extra deck. Okay. Now, don't pay attention to the build, just pay attention to the combos. Okay, here we go. So you saw the first combo, now we're on to the second combo. That's your basic Solitaire combo. Okay. Alright, so this is Squire, Solitaire, Mizuki. We're going to up the combo a bit. Actually, no, we'll start out with this first. We're going to start out with the Squire Mizuki combo. So if you have Squire and Mizuki, this is what you're going to do. I mean, Mizuki by itself. Mizuki by itself to get Squire. So if you have Mizuki by itself, here's what you're going to do. This is a 1-card combo with Mizuki. You're going to search your Squire, and you're going to normal summon Squire. Squire's going to activate its effect to summon out Shade out of the deck.
Here's what's
Then you're gonna
coming.
go ahead and make Squire Saga.
Special summon a monster. Here's what's coming. I synchro.
Then you're gonna activate Spectral Sword from the grave, banishing your Squire. Summon out your Doom Kaiser in the extra monster zone. Draw and discard if you want.
Activate my monster's effect.
Okay, next we're gonna go ahead and link into Vampire
Here's
Sucker.
what's coming. I manifest my circuit. I
Activate
activate my
Mizuki's effect to
monster's
revive
effect.
back Shade.
Come here. I activate my monster's
Now,
effect.
you may say, Sean, why not go into Sword Saga here? Well, we already made Shogun Saga, so that doesn't really make sense unless we have like double Mizuki in the grave, which is not going to happen in a case like this, so we're not going to do that. So instead, what we're going to do here is we're going to activate Shade.
My monster's
We're going to bring back these two.
Here I go.
And then at this point, we're going to skill,
I act.
putting back these two. Banish a 10-5. Hard make Samurai Saga. It's very important you make Doom first, otherwise you won't be able to make Samurai Saga.
Here's
Because like I said before, your Shiranui synchros can only be special summoned once per turn.
synchro.
And then we just end on Skill Saga. So one card off the Mizuki, we end on a Skill Saga, plus two Shiranuis in the banished pile.
Arrows.
So very, very good.
Circuit. This
Okay, so that is your one card Mizuki combo. Now, going on further, I'm going to get you into some of the Gozuki lines. I'm going to show you 3 more lines, that way we're not here for 10 hours. But just this is going to help you out a ton, because these are the most common combos you're going to want to know. Alright.
It's duel.
Okay, so this is what I do if I see Gozuki in another name. Now, if you have Gozuki Solitaire,
Draw.
like these 2 cards in hand can end on a 3-pop Myling. But what I like to do is I like to always ensure that if I can insulate myself by searching Samsara, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to teach you right now how, with Gozuki plus Solitaire in the hand, we're going to always have access to be able to search out a Samsara. Or, if we have Gozuki and maybe... well, we're always going to have access with Gozuki and another Shira, but this is the most optimal way to do it. So if we have Gozuki and the Solitaire in hand, here's what we are going to do. We're going to send Solitaire to the graveyard to search our Smith. And then we're going to go ahead and normal summon Gozuki.
I go.
Activate Gozuki's effect to send Mizuki to the graveyard. Then we're going to activate Spectral Sword in graveyard.
Activate my
Banishing
monster's
Solitaire
effect.
to summon Doom Kaiser Dragon in EMZ.
Come here.
Then we're going to activate Special Summoning our Spectral Sword back. Now, keep in mind, we want to be able to synchro summon with the Smith. So in order to do that, we got to make sure we link our Gozuki off with our Doom Kaiser Dragon into Sucker. Then we activate Gozuki's effect, banishing the Doom Kaiser to special summon Smith out of the hand.
Here's what's coming.
Once summoned, we can then synchro summon into our Samurai Saga. This will ensure that we get our Samsara Search.
Monsters together. I activate my
Now from this point, oh, well, I forgot to put Samsara in the deck. Pretend this is Samsara. We'd be searching Samsara. Not this, but this would be a Samsara. Alright, so now what we could do is we can go one of 2 directions. We can either end on Skill Saga, or we can end on the Maya Link. We'll just have one less pop to do so. But, we're going to activate Mizuki if we want to end on the Maya Link, which I'd rather end on because it's safer. Even to end on a lesser pop. We're going to go ahead and revive back the Spectral Sword. And very important here, you must link with the Samurai Saga first. The reason why is if you do it later on and go into Sucker with it, then you're going to shuffle your Maya Link in and you won't have the disruption. So you got to make sure you do it with the Spectral first. And then we go into our, we skill off that, and then we put the Maya Link in the graveyard. And there you go. So, again, I'm just going to set it backward here. We're going to pretend that this is the card we searched. So, pretend that's Samsara. We'd end on Samsara. Plus, Sun Saga and a Sword Saga. Oh, wait. There's one thing I forgot to bring up, and I'm totally clueless if I'm saying this without doing this. If you activate Samsara and you banish your Sun Saga, you can return that same Sun Saga because you banished for cost to, well, not even for cost, but because you banished that Sun Saga before Sun Saga resolves, then you can return that same Sun Saga to pop their card in the field. So Sun Saga can return itself along with that Shiranui card you banished to pop those cards in the field. So keep in mind that's an extra pop. So this would technically be a 2-pop setup. So keep that in mind as well. So this ends on 2 pops plus you having your Samsara set. Alright, so that's Gozuki plus Solitaire. Solitaire allows you to get that extra pop. With Gozuki, alone with a different Shira, you won't get 2 pops. You'll get 1. But it will still be... Well, no, you still get 2 pops, but this is more preferred. This is a lot more preferred. You won't get the draw of Vampire Sucker. Okay, so now... Again, we're going to go over a couple more combos. We've gone over most of the meat. It's like maybe 1 to 2 more combos that I want to go over. But those are mostly the meat and potatoes that you need to know. Alright. So again, this is going to be the Gozuki the Squire Solitaire Mizuki combo. I'll do this first. So next, this is the Squire Solitaire Mizuki combo. So what we're going to do is, in order to do this, we're going to want to discard our Solitaire first to add Squire. Next, we're going to go ahead and summon Squire to the field. Activate the effect to summon out Spectral Sword Shade out of the deck. Then, we're going to go ahead and make Squire Saga right off the bat. So if you have Solitaire and Mizuki in the hand, you're going to be able to do this. So you should be able to recognize that. So if you see Solitaire and Mizuki, we're pitching the Solitaire to get the Squire and making Squire Saga first. The only time you don't make Squire Saga first is if we open up Solitaire by itself. Next, we're going to activate Squire Saga, banishing Spectral Sword Shade. Then we're going to activate Spectral Sword Engraved, banishing Solitaire, summoning out the Doom Kaiser Dragon. And then with Solitaire's effect, we're going to revive back Shade. And then we're going to use Shade's effect to bring back 2. Now, we're going to activate, we're going to synchro summon into our Shogun Saga. Now, by synchroing in the Shogun Saga, we can use its effect, banishing Squire, activating Squire to draw 1, discard the Mizuki, and then we can link these 2 off into our Vampire Sucker. Now, we can skill, put these 2 back, go 10-5. 10-5 is fine in this spot. Next, we could just revive back a Shiranui monster, get a draw. So this combo allows us to end on a draw as well. Then we go Maya Link. And then back into the Vampire Sucker. So again, this card move gives us an extra draw. And then allows us to end with Solitaire in the graveyard. So we have Solitaire back in the graveyard, which is really, really good. Because this will allow us to get a level 8 follow-up. And then we have access immediately to Sun Saga 2, Sun Saga Pop, without needing our Samsara. And then we also get a draw out of it. So this is a really, really good combo. It's a draw 1. Well, technically a draw 2, because you're also drawing off Squire to discard a card. So technically it's a draw 2 into our 2-pop Maya line. And we also have access to having the follow-up, like I said before, of Spectral Sword Solitaire in the grave, which you always want Solitaire in the grave for follow-up. Okay, so like I said, those are kind of the meat and potatoes. The other combo I want to go over is a little bit more, well, actually it's fine, because I'm going to mostly go over it on stream, the rare scenario where you open up Smith, but those are the main combo lines you got to know. You got to know those lines. If you open up a Shiranui by itself, like you may say, well, what if I do if I open up Smith? If you open up Smith, you're always going to Shade, revive back Smith and Spectral Sword, and that's your 1-card line to get to Samsara. Also, another thing you got to know is if you open up Squire, any Shiranui by itself, it's always a Skill Saga pop plus a 1-pop Skill Saga plus whatever Shiranui banished effect. So like if you have a Solitaire, like if you banish Squire, you get a draw. If you banish Samurai, you can also end on a draw with Squire instead of Samurai in the graveyard. There are different things you can do, and you'll see that on stream tonight. Okay, let's go over a few replays. So this video isn't an hour long. I want to keep it to 40 minutes. And yeah, we're going to go over a few replays right now. Alright, now rather than me in this special video, because this is a guide, rather than me talk about play music for you and you sit here through a soundtrack of me watching my highlights, I'm actually going to sit here and talk to you about what I do. So these are going second. So I'm going to teach you now how to break a field. I taught you all how to combo off turn 1, but I did not teach you how to break a field. And breaking a field, knowing how to break a field is one of the crucial parts of being a pro Shiranui player and knowing what the heck you're doing. Alright, so you're going to see here we're up against top tier Sacred Beast. This is the top tier deck. So he's going to go ahead and reveal Uriah to activate his skill to get Haman. Now, Skullmeister is one of the best hand traps in the meta because there's a lot of things you can negate. You can negate Disruptor's ability to search Rapid Trigger. You can negate Necrosynchro's ability in the graveyard to allow Fleur to do whatever it wants to do. And you can negate the effect of Chaos Summoning Beasts in the graveyard to stop them from getting their Fallen Paradise. So he's going to go for Haman. He's going to be able to search, and we say no. Now he activates Cerulean Skyfire and passes. So, let's... Okay, I already did it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to summon Gozuki. Now, while we have his skill accessibility at... We want to... And this goes for playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. I'm going to give you this kind of overview of Yu-Gi-Oh! The first thing you want to do is quickly in your mind evaluate what you're dealing with. So right away, we know by him having Haman in attack, he has a spell negate with Cerulean Skyfire, plus a potential hand trap in hand. So if we go ahead, the first thing we want to do here, given our hand, we have Gozuki, Double Mizuki, and Ghost Meets Girl, which Mizuki is not kind of the card you want to have in hand without being able to set up a Shiranui first. But we could skirt around that with this hand, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So basically, the first thing we want to do before activating any skill that we'd have is we want to summon Gozuki first. The reason why is this is an effect Veiler check. So since Veiler is a predominant card in the meta, it's always a good idea that we check for Veiler first. So we're going to summon Gozuki before doing any of our plays, so that way we could set up depending on what he decides to do. And Gozuki is a very good check card because most of the time they're going to Veil the Gozuki because they don't want you getting their Shiranuis in the grave, and they don't know how you're going to combo off. So there's the Veiler, so we check for the Veiler. Now immediately we're going to skill for a Solitaire. Now you can also option to skill for a Samurai here too. Run into Haman because it's in attack mode. Well, it doesn't matter if it's attack or defense. And then banish it, and then clear his body. However, in a case like this, we could go for lethal. And the reason why is Ghost Meets Girl discards for cost. And what you're going to see here is a play where we end up going Squire Saga on this turn, and be able to OTK them. And you're probably not going to see it right away, unless you are really seasoned with the deck, but I'm going to teach you exactly how we do it. So the first thing we're going to do is activate Spectral Sword in the graveyard, banishing the Mizuki, and we're going to go into Doom Kaiser. So the very important thing you need to know is once we link off that Doom Kaiser Dragon, once we have that Doom Kaiser Dragon on the field, we can link off that Gozuki, and then we can immediately use Gozuki's effect in grave, because it was sent there this turn, to be able to banish a zombie, and then be able to special summon one other hand. So we're going to banish Doom Kaiser, special summoning Solitaire. Now remember, when we use Sun Saga's effect, it doesn't care if it's in the banished pile or in the graveyard. So if we banish our Doom Kaiser Dragon, we could still pop cards on the field anyway because it's banished, even in the banished pile. So we're going to go Solitaire's effect, we're going to summon Shade out of the deck. And yes, I know we're negated, but we just want to get Mizuki in the grave. So Mizuki will summon back Solitaire, draw us a card because of Sucker, and now we are going to synchro summon into Squire Saga. Now remember what I told you before, Squire Saga does not target. So if we really wanted to, we could banish herself to pop Fallen Paradise. Well, if you have Fallen Paradise, we could pop that and Haman. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and just pop his Cerulean Skyfire. And we're going to use the effect of our Solitaire, because we have it in the graveyard. After using it to summon Shade, we can banish it with Squire to pop Cerulean Skyfire, but not only do that, but bring back our Spectral Sword. Now, in some cases where, okay, we couldn't OTK him, then we'd have Spectral Sword already engraved for follow-up. But in this case, we are able to OTK him, so we're going to do so. So we're going to link off that Squire Saga, and we're going to make Yukiona. And then we could use our skill to go ahead and put the 2 synchros in the graveyard. Remember when I said link off the synchro first? So we're going to go ahead and link those off, use our skill to put Sun Saga in the banish. Then we're going to go into our sucker, activate our Maya Link, summoning out Sun Saga. Sun Saga will pop, and then we have lethal. So you can see with careful decision making and execution, we were able to lethal them, outskilling our opponent, making it very, very difficult for them to deal with. So keep that in mind. I hope this is the Rocket Duelist. Okay. Okay. So again, I want you to pay attention to this. This is Borlo Link, and this is very important. Because here you're going to find that he has Lancia. We're going second again, and this is going back to board breakage. He has Lancia. He's going to have Riot Dragon. And he's going to have Ibli. And you're going to probably think we already lost, but we're not going to. So he's going to search Artifact Lancia. Riot Dragon's going to pop his Ron Claudia. Ron Claudia then triggers to summon out the Ibli, linking off into Talkback Lancer to give us the Ibli. So he's going to summon out Borlo Riot Dragon. And then go Spiral. We're going to negate Spiral here, because I don't want to be able to have easy access to Flash Charge in the EMC. So he ends up making a weird play here, summoning Flash here, but it really doesn't matter anyway, because he couldn't really do much after that regardless. And then passes. He could have also searched Rapid Trigger here, which would have been a little bit more annoying for us, but he did not do so. But he still would have had to have used, like, if he went for Rapid Trigger, he really couldn't really use it, because he would have to pop one of his monsters with Riot, and he wouldn't have a second card in the field. If he didn't link into Flash Charge, he would have had to play with it, but it still would have heavily minused him anyway. So in that case, maybe I would take that back and not negate the Spiral there. So that way we just negate the Rapid Triggers better anyway. Alright, so we're going to summon out Gozuki. He's going to Lancia us. We're just going to send Spirit Master. And the reason why we're going to do that is because anything that he clears, anybody he clears, we're going to go send Spirit Master and search a Shira. Because if he clears out our Gozuki, we're going to be able to summon out Samurai by banishing Spirit Master. And Spirit Master then can out Riot because it's not special summon from the extra deck. So we can pop Riot Dragon. So we're just going to crash Ibli so that way we can summon our Shiras. And then run over his Talkback Lancer. And then hold a Veiler for anything he really wants to threaten. The only thing we'd be really dead afraid of is Borlo Dragon. But he had no way to make it. So now we can banish our Spirit Master, summon our Samurai. We can't pop Riot Dragon because otherwise we'd die. But we can banish his other Flash Charge. Now what's very important here is we pop... Now you may say, why didn't he train Tracer? Well, he can't. Because if he changed Trace, he can't train Tracer. Because when Spirit Master activates off of being bashed off Gozuki, that's the damage step. So he's not able to do that. We're going to summon Gozuki on the follow-up, sending Solitaire. Then we're going to resummon back Samurai. Samurai can directly out it as well. Because we banish him with Samurai's effect, not from an effect from the extra deck. So Squire's going to activate pitching Solitaire. Then we're going to banish, summoning back Spectral Sword. And then we have lethal. Banish the Solitaire, banish his monster, and then 25 and 17 direct. So the best way to do with that is to try to force it out. So we know he can special summon, he can negate from the extra deck. So we didn't want to commit anything from the extra deck that would force Riot. So we wanted to draw and discard because we have a lot of zombie targets in the deck, so there's a good chance we draw one. And then we discard the zombie, then Samurai's Lie to banish the Riot Dragon, and then 25 and 17 for lethal. So even through Riot Dragon and Lancia and Imli, we were able to beat him anyway. So very, very good. Okay, so that's going to be the video. 45 minutes long. Remember, I'm doing a COD climb tonight, so make sure you follow me on twitch.tv/SeanMatry. We're probably going to go up to Legend 3, unless I get to Legend beforehand, then we can probably make the push for COG. So, yeah, until next time, this is your boy SeanMatry signing out. Peace. 7 p.m. tonight, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye, YouTube.